5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along, LTID TV. Glad to see Kate's back in position. She just went off to get changed. I was very disappointed that she went off to get changed and didn't do it on camera for me, but there we go. Obviously,
It's not Christmas yet, Chris. It's not Christmas.
No, well, there's a promise. Mind you, I couldn't afford the legal fees, to be honest with you. But welcome along. Do what it says at the bottom. Subscribe and, click the like button, share, and add into the comments, because we're going to be looking at Kate's team to face Blackburn tomorrow morning, in fact, at the early kickoffs. And first of all, I'm going to say congratulations, Kate, a new member of the Foxes Trust.
Yes, thank you. I'm part of the engagement and communication subgroup, so had my first meeting last night, which was really good. So yeah, look forward to getting going in more comms to come, really, from the trust.
Yeah, well, good luck with it, and do give John Rudkin our best.
Best what exactly? Best what?
Well, I'll leave that for you. Maybe you should go up and sort of just say, like, well, you've just got something on your cheek there, John, and kill him in plain sight. Anybody who watches The Traitors will know what I got it. Yeah.
Don't spoil it though. I'm not caught up.
No, I won't. The final is next week, and I'm bloody away next week. I'm so annoyed. But also, I've got to say, I speak to Dan, the Burnley fan, and he's pretty much on a thing like that for Burnley. And the other night, he went along with a lot of about, few hundred, if not nearly 1,000 Burnley fans, where they had a Q&A session with Alan Pace, the owner of Burnley Football Club. And it was like, there was no sort of, you can't ask this, you can't ask that, I thought, you'd never see our owner doing that, would you?
No, I don't think you would. But it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do necessarily, because there'll be loads that owner can't answer. So it'd be interesting to see what questions he gets asked and how he navigates through the tricky questions. And also they've had a great couple of seasons, so it's all right putting the Q&A on when things have been going well.
But then again, it's not always needed when it's going well, is it?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing, but maybe not top.
At least they're trying to communicate. They've gone with that route of communication, whereas obviously we don't really have that at the moment. But who knows what will happen in the future, I guess. But yeah,
exactly.
Communication certainly needs to be opened for us, at least.
Yes, there's no fan engagement there, is there? And I just looked at that and I thought, Burnley, passionate fans. Yes, they're having a good couple of seasons, but they, had a relegation in there as well. But I just think, and obviously there's going to be certain things he can't discuss, and I'm sure there's a get out for him if they're asking, like, why is Daka being paid £75,000 a year when he hasn't scored in a year? He obviously can't. Oh, and Kate has gone. I don't know where she's gone, but she's gone, which kind of negates the whole purpose of the show, really. But I will carry on until she comes back. All I'm going to say is that I think it's a very good what they were doing. And she's back. I don't know
Sorry, I
what
don't know what happened there.
I was talking away, and there's the main presenter of the show gone. Welcome back. I just think it's nice so when you see clubs engaging with the fans, that that is the thing.
It is absolutely. I agree. I do agree, and that's what we've got to try and push towards in future. So we need the club to help us meet in the middle a bit with that. I think in some way.
Yes,
you're never going to please everybody.
Yeah, that's
and some of the answers you might not like, so you have to be prepared for that. So,
and I suppose it only stood out to me because we don't have that engagement. If we had any sort of engagement at all, wouldn't be, I'd just say, they're doing it as well. But the other day we did a show. You weren't available on Tuesday. I think you're having your hair done, and you. Women have their hair done and just pull it all back. What is the point? If you're gonna have
my roots aren't as visible anymore, look. That's why.
Oh right, you see, I didn't know you're doing roots. I mean, I know that you've gone out and bought a pair of green trousers to match your picture there. I didn't know you're having your hair done that way as well.
It used to be that short when I first came on the show, actually.
Yes, it did, didn't it?
And
yes.
But it'll be back up there soon. I'll get bored of this before too long, and I'll cut it all off again soon.
Right, at least you've got hair to cut off.
Very true.
Right. Yeah, the other night we did a show and I asked, there was Tom and Craig on there, and it was the forum, and I said, pick another formation and come along with that formation and the players that you would put in that formation for this weekend's game against Blackburn. And Tom, because Tom has been shouting for a 3-5-2 for ages, and sometimes, Marty does go into that late on in the second half. I'm still not sure what Craig went for. I think it was a 4-1-3-1 he went for in the end. I didn't even I had to do when I was doing the formation thing on the screen, I couldn't find any app that would allow me to do a 4-1-3-1 formation. And then I went with 4-4-2, which is the one we should be playing. But we're stuck with the 3-5. Oh God, I can't even get my teeth out. What do we play at the moment? 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are stuck with that because at the moment that is what Marty is starting with. If Marty changes it, then we can change this. So Kate is a little bit hampered by the formation, but interestingly, should we have a look at your team? This is pre you nearly changing your mind.
Yeah, I did talk about potentially going to a back three, and then you were like, well, I can't do that on the formation thing. Was going to stick with what Marty goes with.
Yes.
So, yeah.
So here it is. Look, we say this every week. I think the goalkeeper speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does at the minute. I mean, it's one of those goalkeeping things. Unless he really, really messes up on a continual basis, you're not going to change him. And he hasn't really messed up. He's made a couple of good saves in recent games. Actually, obviously saved the penalty.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, he isn't a problem at all right now. His distribution could be better. He can be a bit slow to distribute and not spot the runners. We've got pace to do counter-attack in football, and we don't really do it. But I appreciate that can't be every time he gets the ball, but he doesn't look for it, and it's really frustrating because if you've got Fatu or Steffi, or even Bobby or whoever, like Monga, if you've got them making the run, how you don't give it, because Fatu in particular, he can just be anybody, really.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen him in some games look as if he's about to kick it out, and then sort of almost like, oh shit, the boss won't let me do this. And the other game, he passed it straight to Harry Winks, who literally had. I mean, if the opposition player had been closer to Harry Winks, he could have done him for rape. It was that close to him, and yet Jakub played the ball to him, so he then had to quickly play it to somebody else, and it all got a bit messy. And then there's another occasion, and Vestergaard took the goal kick, and passed it about 6 foot, if that, across the line to Jakob. I don't get it.
Well.
I don't, you know.
I don't know if that's because when Vestergaard passes it to Jakob, that pass then triggers the ability for the attackers to come inside the box, which is a kind of play of moving the opposition to make your next pass. But it just always puts unnecessary pressure on the back line. And I don't think we're good enough to be playing that tightrope type of football.
No, we're not. And also, it does bring the opposition players towards you. But then surely if they're going to do that, hit the ball long and over the top.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. He doesn't seize the opportunities that well or even spot the opportunities that well.
No.
But you don't know what he's been told either. But I think it was at Swansea. He was so indecisive that he pretty much went to throw it at the very last second, and I mean the last second as it was about to leave his glove, he changed his mind and then wandered outside of his own area.
Yes.
Because he committed to making the throw and then didn't let go of it. But yeah, he's doing all right, Jakob. He's doing all right.
Are you sure he was indecisive?
He used to be indecisive, and now I'm not so sure.
Sure, he's a bum bum. So yeah, and it was a good penalty. It wasn't the best penalty ever taken, but he saved it. And you know, things always. I don't know why the goalkeeper's not allowed to move. Well, I mean, he can move left to right, okay, but he can't sort of come off his line. And yet, the striker or whoever's taking the penalty taker, can do hop, skip, jumps, and all sorts.
Forward rolls.
Exactly, you know. I mean, I'm not talking about
why when it's a penalty kick for a foul, in the same way it's a penalty kick if it was to settle a cup game or something. I don't get why it just doesn't. If you miss it, it's a dead ball, keeper's ball. You shouldn't get the rebound. That's my view. You've had your go at goal. If the keeper saves it, you're not allowed to do a rebound.
That's a good point. Although we wouldn't have then won the Euros for the ladies.
Well, whatever. I just think you've got one chance. You 1-on-1 with a keeper from 12 yards. If you don't make it, that's your chance gone.
Yeah, no, I do get what you're saying. Of course, the new law is, and again going back to the Euro ladies final, Beth Mead took the first penalty, slipped, touched it twice.
Oh yeah. And
we always remember Harry Kane doing that against France, and that was it. The penalty had gone. Now she was allowed to take it again.
And Riyad did it first, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, and he took it again. She took it again and missed, but I mean, that's by the by.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I just think you have one shot. If the keeper saves it, it's dead ball, keeper's ball.
Yeah, no, I can see where you're coming from with that. Right, back four. Interesting. Let's start with Ricardo. He is failing to, I think, find the form that we expect of him. I mean, he's getting older. His legs aren't, what they used to be. And as captain, I'm finding we can't afford for Ricardo to miss any games due to a suspension. But I do think he's picking up unnecessary yellow cards for arguing.
How many is he on?
I'm not sure, but he did get that against Millwall, I believe. You could argue how Millwall were playing, but it's just like, and I guess it's like a frustration. And once the players start playing with frustration, they're not going to be playing well, are they?
No, not at all. There's a lot of frustration in the squad at the moment. I'm just having a look how many yellows he's got. 1, 2. Yeah, he's been booked twice in the last 2 games he's started. 3. Yeah. He's on 3.
So it's 2 more, isn't he? And then he misses a game. And we haven't got the cover. We've got Hamza, but we've got a show at 6 o'clock, guys, talking about Hamza possibly going back to Sheffield United in January. So yeah, looking at that, he's got to be Ricardo. But I don't necessarily think we can, he is what he was. And we say this when players come back from injury, don't we?
But to be fair to him, the times he's come back from injury and been able to maintain a certain amount of fitness, like week after week, was 2 seasons ago. And he was exceptional. He fitted into that system really well. The thing about Ricardo is no matter whether you think his legs have gone, I completely agree. I think he's not the player he was. And I think I don't think his contract will get renewed at the end of the year. But compared to what we have available, he's by far the best on the ball.
Yes, totally.
You don't get that mouse and talent. So he is quality in that regard. He's just not got that impotence and explosiveness that we've seen attacking wise, and we've depended on him for. He's still doing the inversion sometimes, but he's not a standout anymore, is he? He standout come in that team for a long time, but it might just be a bit of a form thing. Like I mean, we're only on game week 10 and he hasn't 11, sorry, and we've not
13.
13. We've not played every game.
I'll raise your 11 and give you 13. So, we're actually a quarter of the way through the season. Can you believe?
Mental.
It is. But and hopefully Marti's the sort of manager that can look at this and go, all right, we know that's what he used to be good, and the right back coming in, inverted and what have you, but it's not, it's not working like it used to, and he can adapt Ricardo, because he knows that he can't do that now. Glad you've gone for a Coley, because I would agree with you 100% here. He's still prone to a mistake, but he was Jordan Blackwell's man of the match in Leicestershire Live. For the Millwall game, which is everybody's it's opinions, isn't it? But Wout Faes makes more mistakes than him, and yet he had a run of 4 or 5 games. I think a Coley and Vestergaard should be our 2 going forward this season for those positions.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. I put Coley in because Faes continues to meet expectation in making mistakes quite frequently. I'm not saying Caleb Coley is the bee's knees necessarily and is perfect, but I just find that I feel a bit more rest assured when he's on the pitch. Faes just has this ability to not be able to cope very well with impromptu things that happen, like a long ball over the top or a bounce or someone getting through on goal and he's left to his own devices to make a decision. He always makes the wrong decision, which is usually going to ground or putting in a rash challenge. So, the penalty at Swansea, you could argue wasn't a penalty, but he gave the ref a decision to make. The West Brom goal, he doesn't have the correct concentration for me. And I just think, like you said, a Coley deserves a run of games. Just to be fair, we've never really seen him have a proper run of games, so it would be good.
I mean, Wout Faes, we've still got a season and 3 quarters on his contract, and I know. Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, folks. Hey, but it is Halloween, so
feels like Groundhog Day.
Well, yes, that exactly. Do you think there's any sort of, because a lot of people are saying, well, they're being put on to put them in the shop window. Marti, I can't see Marti going and saying yes, Top, you need to sell this player, therefore I'll put him on the pitch so people can see him. I mean, we might get better offers if they don't see him because they won't know how bad he is.
Can't see that happening. I mean, we're not in an age where people don't have access to videos of him, are we?
Exactly.
I think that's a nonsense.
The other option, of course, and we've spoken about youth before, and you put me in my place with that, so I'm not going to go down that road again, as I put on the post.
I know this.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the post. I put on the post sort of, would you disagree with Kate? Would you dare?
Yes, I did. I loved it.
I suppose the only other one is Ben Nelson, who, again, to my mind, he had a long spell at Oxford in this division last season. Oxford absolutely raved about him. He had 1 game for us, didn't have a good game. We've not seen him anywhere near the bench since. But would you agree because I'd like to see him maybe on the bench or something. But would you agree that he's too similar to Yannick and they couldn't play together?
Yeah, that's why I've not put him in, because Yannick is arguably probably one of our best players. So there's no need to drop him at the moment. And to be honest, if you put Nelson and Okoli or Nelson and Fass in that back line, it would make me feel really uneasy.
Yes.
And as an attacker and as an opponent, I would be licking my lips, to be quite honest.
Yeah. And would you have him on the bench, though, Nelson?
Yeah, of course I would. I'd have him on the bench ahead of Fass, but there was this injury in the summer, wasn't there? And he had a bad injury last year where he came back from Oxford. So we've never really heard any update about him, have we?
No. It's interesting. Yannick Vestergaard, like you say, the best defender at the moment. This is definitely his level. Sometimes he's just, yes, again, he's got a rick in him, and I saw him trying to keep up with one of the defenders in the last game, and it was like watching a Formula One car overtake one of the the back markers. The gap was getting bigger and bigger and bigger as he got nearer the goal, and you're thinking he's not going to do this. But look, he was captain after the substitutions at the weekend, and he has just got a habit of just standing there, and I can say, yes, he's got mistakes in him, but he'll just put his foot in the way and stop the ball going past him. And, you don't always appreciate those tackles, if you like.
Yeah, I agree. He reads the game really well, Yannick does. If his pace was anywhere near average, he would be a different kind of player. Like, his distribution is really good. He's actually all right on the ball. He does some passes through the eye of a needle. He doesn't look the stuff because of how he moves, and he's so big and slow and ploddy, if that's even a word, ponderous.
Ploddy.
But yeah, in that back line, I do feel like he keeps it relatively calm, and Ricardo being there as well.
Yes, yeah. Just to say hello, Richard is in. Playing 4-2-3-1 is part of the problem. It is, and as I said, we've got bonfire night coming up, and if anybody hasn't got a guy, just nip up to the Etihad and get Pep Guardiola and put him on top of the bonfire, because of course it was him that brought the bloody thing to the country in the first place. 4-4 bloody 2, that's what I say. Ricardo is on 3 yellow cards. Sorry, mate. Yeah, just seen that. Dolbster, is it? Coley's not good passer of the ball, but can make of it with his defensive work. I'd still rather a Coley than Faze. Fair point. 3-5-2. To be honest with you, that's what we've been shouting for. Ben Nelson, by the way, has a number. Oh, he's still got an injury, has he? Fair enough. I didn't know.
I didn't know that. Not the end of last month. Oh, right. It's only been a recent thing.
Right. He's out until mid-November, apparently. Great. Right, you're going to have to explain this next one to me. You probably knew you would. Mr. Thomas.
Yeah, for reasons that I've said before. I know he's been absolutely rubbish, but for me, out of the choices that we've got between him and VK, I'll pick him. I know we spoke about Aluko last week. I did think about Aluko last week, but I just don't think he's realistically going to start. I would like to see him given minutes, but I can't be doing with VK. That is my personal preference. He drives me to despair. Plus, I feel he doesn't want to be here.
I do see where you're coming from.
Obviously messed up massively last week, and he has been a poor performer in the last month or so.
Who's that, sorry?
Thomas. I do appreciate being a poor performer.
I was going to say, yeah, I look at it's his fault the penalty was given away. I know Harry Winks gave the penalty away, but had he, not lost the ball or got beaten, hi Prashant, Harry Winks wouldn't have been in that position. When they scored the goal, not being awful, we say that Yannick Vestergaard can't jump. I don't think he went an inch off the floor in trying to defend that ball when it went in the box. So I think he needs a rest. And I think the crowd And you go to the matches, so you could say no, they're not like this. But I just wonder if the crowd are going to start getting to him.
Yeah, and I think this is where fans just need to be careful. He's one of our own, and he doesn't intend to do these mistakes. So the last thing you need to hear when you've made a mistake is the fans on top of you. I just don't think that's very supportive myself. I'm not saying stand there and clap, obviously, but I'm just saying that just don't give the guy abuse.
Yes.
Because there's no player goes out there to be doing that, especially someone like Luke Thomas, who is born and bred Leicester. So, yeah, I mean, I can see Dobster's thing there. You'd rather have VK. I just wouldn't. I can't bear the guy, and that will just. It's a hill I'm prepared to die on, to be honest.
And you may well. But no, I don't agree with, and look, I will criticise players, after the match in the thing, and I've got to say, last week we had the return. I'm just trying to find it here, and I can't find it. We had the return of Donkey of the Match.
Oh, okay.
Which we did last year because we were playing so bad, and I brought it back last week because I had to award it to Luke Thomas. That's how bad
It made a comeback.
Yeah, but if I was at the ground, I would not boo him. I don't think any player should be booed during the match.
No, me neither.
Sorry, I don't agree with that. I saw it at Bournemouth when we played them in the FA Cup. Their striker was booed when he was their Daka, if you like, and it just didn't help him at all. I think for me, I just think Luke Thomas maybe needs to be taken out of the firing line. Yes, we've all said we'd like to see a Luco. Maybe Norwich is the game for that, because on paper that should be the easier game next time out, not Middlesbrough. But I can see why you put Luke Thomas in there, and Marty likes him,
Yeah. But maybe it's a system issue. I don't know. It could be a system issue that we've spoken about. It's time to drop this system.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I
feel like we're stuck between a rock and a hard place because I think VK won't cover himself in glory at all. And also, when he came on again at Swansea for like the last 20 minutes or whatever it was, he wouldn't head the ball because he's wearing that. I've seen someone on social media call it a chin bra, which really made me laugh.
Well, you like me with double chins? Maybe that's not so far off the truth.
Because he's wearing the brace, he wasn't going up for headers.
Right.
And I get it because mentally he's broken his jaw, for God's sake. That's a really serious injury. Yeah. And I just, as a defender, I don't even know if his head's in it while he's still wearing that because you're going to be going in with trepidation, aren't you? And
who was the Chelsea keeper? Because he ended up wearing that helmet for the rest of his career, basically, didn't he?
Was it Czech?
Czech, yeah, I think it was. Yes. But look, now you put Luke in there. Do you think Luke Thomas is struggling because when Monger's been starting, which he has just recently, Monger, he's not about defending, is he?
Well, this is the problem JJ had at the early part of last year, if you remember. JJ was getting pelters left, right and centre from everybody, but Buonanotte was basically like, you may as well have had a pole stood there or a tree or something, because that would have done more.
No, he was Italian, not Polish.
Argentinian.
No, he was quite right. Why did I? Well, yes, you're right. Argentinian.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He was completely ineffective at helping JJ defend, and I think this is the same situation, and it won't be helped if Mavididi plays tomorrow as per my team, because Mavididi doesn't really track back either. He's marginally better than Monger, but Luke Thomas is massively isolated, but our system a little bit forces that to happen. We've talked about the attacking wingers being isolated, but often the fullbacks are isolated as well.
Yes.
And, you know, like with the Millwall goal last week, when he got beat on the touchline there, Luke, there was so much space. There was no one covering. There was so much space. So a system issue might solve a few things.
Yes, yeah. Richard is my new favourite best mate. He says, I put Hamza in midfield. Yes, Richard, I've been screaming for this all season and back end of last season as well. We know that he's a good defender, Hamza, and I've seen him take a tackle, go down, and then get up and run back and catch the attacker to put in a defensive tackle again and put the ball out. So his commitment is there. I want to see him in midfield. Now, I'm not saying that he's better than either of these two, but I think he's better as a defensive midfielder than as a right back.
But who are you taking out of that midfield?
Well, no, I'm not. I've just said I'm not saying that he's better than the two that are there.
That's where you put him.
But I would put him in one of those two positions, yes. I think, if I would sooner say, let's say, for example, Harry Winks gets injured in this game. We've got Middlesbrough on Tuesday. You and I, and we all know Samara is going to come into that position. No. Why not put Hamza in there?
To be honest, he's done a few overlap runs recently, hasn't he? The last times he's played, he's flipping fast, Hamza is. I'd love to know how fast he is compared to others.
Yeah.
I don't mind Hamza bombing forward and being that kind of midfield player because he's out of danger then. Hamza needs to be kept clear of the danger zone, which is the back third.
The thing is, with this position, at least he's not back in the box normally, which he's given away a few penalties.
He's facing into the play. I think, when he's a full-back or a right-back, he's running backwards sometimes and he has to turn and it's a tough watch. He's definitely not a winger for me. He's definitely not a wide player for me. He's central, really industrial. Some of his tackles great. I agree with Richard. His energy is really good. But the problem is with Hamza, if you relied upon him in that central part of midfield, if JJ or Winks was injured, is that his ball play is rubbish. He isn't very good on the ball.
But for a long time we've been saying we need somebody in midfield like a Roy Keane. Somebody that will say, I'm here, you're not coming past me, sort of thing, and let the opposition know. And to me, we haven't got anybody like that, apart from possibly Hamza. But look, we will see. We will see. But I'd love to see him in that. I'd love it, I tell you, love it if we could see him in that role. Richard has said take Winks out. Now, I'm going to disagree at the moment because I think now he's got his head in the right place. I think Winks is one of our better players, to be honest with you. Yes, he's having bad games that every player has and will do. But, I think since the window's shut and he's been playing from the start, I like Harry Winks at this level.
Yeah, Harry Winks, I think, is really good at this level. I think he's one of our few quality players that we have at this level. He has obviously had some tough treatment last season. We'll never really know what went on, but when you've seen what Edward has to say about his treatment it doesn't rule out that the same thing happened to Winks. So you're frozen out maybe for a very minor reason and you just there's no way back for you. So it's very easy to kind of get the hump and solve. But Marti's brought him round, which has been really good to see. And he's just class. When he gets ticking, if we can get him to be on the ball a bit more, that's part of the problem as well. Because we're forced out wide so often, Winks doesn't get as much time on the ball as I'd want him to. I just want him to get more time on the ball, and he's class. He pulls the strings when he's on it. When the team's on it, he pulls the strings. So we need to make sure he is in control of things a bit more.
Wayne's popped in. Two ladies in red, you cheeky sod. Ladies in red. I like the song, but it's to get on my nerves.
I had a Forest shirt on when I came on first thing.
You did what, sorry?
I did think you had a Forest shirt on when I came on first thing.
I'm just trying to mix it up.
I know, you keep still guessing. That's it.
I tell you what, if I have two shows, one like last night, I had a show and then another one within, about half an hour afterwards, I will go and change my shirt. So I'm not wearing the same shirt for both shows. Winks is only good in the quarterback position when teams are pressuring. Winks is not that good. But let me ask you this, Kate. If we don't go up this season, and let's be honest with you, I think it's more likely we won't than that we will. But if we don't go up this season, we stay in the Championship, would you extend Harry Winks' contract by a year on a reduced wage, obviously?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
Yeah,
think I probably
Thank
would.
you. I said that.
But also, like, the wages are irrelevant. I don't really like talking about wages because players didn't choose to get paid this amount of money.
No,
so many players are paid overpaid. So many players. The whole concept of football wages is absolutely insane when that is the whole thing that hamstrings every single club with PSR.
Yes.
Like, no one's worth 50 grand a week, 100 grand a week, 200 grand a week, unless you genuinely make that money back for your club in turnover.
Yeah.
And no player does.
No.
So Haaland isn't worth 600 grand a week or whatever he's on. It's pointless talking about it. It's pointless talking about it because they don't decide the wages, and it's the market we're in, and we're in a sport that is flipping expensive.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Harry, if we're in the Championship, his
and I think on less than the 90 grand a week because we got relegated, but apparently he is the most expensive wage earner in the Championship. Look, Jordan James.
When you think about it like that, there won't be many better.
No. I mean, look, like I say, to me, if we don't go up, I would be knocking on his door saying, "Do you fancy staying another season, Harry?" Or go through the other door and it's Wrexham. Probably, but please look, Marty, if you're watching this, and I know he does. Hi, Marty, how you doing? Please, whatever you do not put Jordan James in that number 10 role and put Soumare back in the midfield. It does not work. I'm sorry, and this is what annoys me sometimes when all the fans can see it, and yet the manager doesn't. Now, if he gets it right, then obviously he's a brilliant tactician and what have you, but no, you can't play Jordan James in that 10 role, can you?
No, it's really not worked. And I would understand on the face of it why you would think that because he's so capable in the 8 or even 6s, I guess, while he's so capable in those roles, you would automatically assume, and you wouldn't be foolish to do so, that he would do okay in a 10. I think if you put Harry Winks in a 10, I don't think it would be absolutely awful. But sadly, like, JJ just doesn't fit that 10 at all. And I was really surprised he's done it more than once, because the first time he did it, which I think, again, was that Swansea? No, it wasn't.
Not sure it was Swansea Hull, was it?
West Brom.
Oh, no, it was after he got sent off, wasn't it?
He tried it first.
Who did he get sent off against?
Ramsey got sent off against Oxford. And I think
so it was the game after that then, wasn't it?
And it was awful, wasn't it? It was just, may as well have been down to 10 men. He was completely ineffective.
Yeah.
And I just wouldn't want to see him there. I would genuinely try someone else. We'll come. Are we on to that? We're just on JJ at the minute, aren't we? We've not come to the front line yet.
That will take us. I would say that will take us on very well to Bobby. And Dolbasek has said, I should have gone to Specsavers. Dolbster? Is that Dolbster? I think his
name might be Dolby, so it's like Dolbster.
Right. Okay. He said, unfortunately, he thinks he will. No, you've got to leave him there, which then leaves a big question mark over the number 10. Bobby, we don't know if he's. A few people are saying, isn't he still injured? We don't know. We haven't had the press conference this week for us to check that. You did caveat that when you sent it through, that if he was still injured, there was another choice there for you. But you've put him in, if he's fit, as your first choice there with no Ramsey.
Yeah, because I don't think Ramsey's fit. I think he'll be out a while.
Oh, Ramsey's definitely not fit. No, he's going to be out.
My next choice, and I think he did well. I think he's done all right in that role. He's by far the best fit that we've got with what we've got available. I like Bobby. I think he could really come into his own if he's just given some game time and he can stay injury free. And that's the thing, when you don't play for periods of time, you're more susceptible to injury, and that's probably what he found. But if he isn't fit, personally, because he's done it before, I would put Steffi in that role. Steffi has played a number 10, and then I'd put Monger on the left.
Yes, I mean, and you said that when I did my 4-4-2, and I had Monger behind Carranza, I think it was, and you said you'd put Steffi in there, which is a good shout. A good shout. Obviously, the other option for him is Ayew, and I'd put Ayew in that position just so that he doesn't put him on the bloody wing. Because Ayew on the wing.
To keep him out of trouble. What have we become as a number 10, man?
Yeah, it just doesn't work with him on the wing, does it? You know.
Well, I don't know. He's like I've said before.
No.
Second half, are you?
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work, Kate.
Against Portsmouth, it did.
Did it?
Yeah, it did a bit.
No.
But no, I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But I don't think
yeah.
I would not want to utilise the number 10 position as key position as it is on the pitch. I would not want to utilise that on someone just to keep him off the wing.
Right. Ryan, thank you, mate. I've got your name now. We'll call you Ryan. Played Page in number 10. Again, Richard, he started the season in that position, didn't he? Maybe just Marty's looking at these youngsters, as Kate said before, wanting to give them a bit more time. And maybe when we know what we're going to happen with the points deduction, and we know, if we can get to the safe position, he maybe sort of start dripping them in. But the thing with Bobby is, look, Bobby became a bit of a joke, and he wasn't my favourite player at all. I think one day he got man of the match because we were that bad and he didn't even come on. So I gave him man of the match for not having to endure the game. But he has only started in that role twice. So the first time he looked really, really good in that role. The second game, not so good. But you've got to give players more than a couple of games, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was really encouraged by what Marty said in his interview, that Bobby was one of the most important people in his squad. That's impressed him in terms of his reading of the game, his knowledge, and his overall ability. And I think he always looks a really tidy player.
But again, previous managers, we won't mention any names, but previous managers hadn't played him in that role. Again, they'd put him on the wing. And I know last season we had no Mavididi, he was injured, and Fatawu obviously was out. And anybody who went along and watched paid to watch the video, my one question would be why, but I hope you had a good night if you did. So he's playing him on that wing, and again, that's his role. If he's going to be playing, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Yeah.
And then just keeping an eye on the time, Fatawu and Mavididi. Let's do them blue again. I suppose. I don't know whether it was you I asked this the other day. If Fatawu's not performing, do the team not perform?
At the minute, yeah, with the way things are going, yeah. Because he gets doubled up on quite a lot. He's isolated. That's what happens, really.
I mean, I think last time we were in this league, they had no idea who Mavididi and Fatawu were. And when they started playing, they absolutely tore the league apart. And we were going, great, can't wait to see this in the Premier League, and didn't quite work out like that. Now, any manager that's worth his salt will be looking back at the videos of those two from a couple of seasons ago and saying, bloody hell, we need to mark these out the game. Are we talking one-trick pony here?
I've had an unpopular opinion for a while that Fatawu is an incredibly talented one-trick pony. He's got fast speed. He's incredibly, his sprinting is incredible. But he will always try and cut inside and do the worldie. And don't get me wrong, he scores way more than the average person does with his left foot. He does try to go around the outside a bit, but his crosses are terrible. For a winger, his crosses are terrible. They are always loopy, back post, no one there. And he just needs to be a bit more decision making.
Ploddy, would you say? Ploddy?
Ploddy. No, not Ploddy. But yeah, his decision making needs to be a bit better. Because I do think he's a bit of a one-trick pony. Like, you can quickly suss him out. You can push him around the outside, and that isn't going to be really a threat. He might do you for pace and be able to get inside the box, but his end ball is really poor. If you can keep him off his left foot, you can probably put him in your pocket. But it's the ability to keep him off his left foot, because he can just pull defenders' pants down because of his pace, and his finishing can be superb. But yeah, like Ryan says there, like Fatawu does need help from one of his teammates, and that's where I want to see Winks and JJ push further forward as those attacks progress. So yeah.
No, and Page has gone to the World Cup as well, along with Jake Evans, who's just been called up, which is in Qatar, starting in a couple of days. I just wanted to pull up what somebody said there, and I missed it. It's gone off the screen. Where are we?
Or was it Richard about the contract stuff?
Yes. Why are we contemplating playing players that won't be here next season? Basically, I think I would say to that because of the best that we've got.
Yeah, and also, what's that got to do with it? Does that mean we shouldn't have played Mads Hermansen any time last year because we knew he'd be going in the summer? It doesn't make sense. You just play your best team available. Otherwise, what's the point in having contracts if you're not going to play them for their last year of the contract? It's a bit of an unusual decision to make.
As long as those players are playing well,
playing JJ and Ramsey, would you? Because they're not going to be here next season at the minute.
Well, technically not. No, I mean it's like saying, any of the players, if they're not performing, you don't play. But even if they're leaving, and you're paying the wages, and they are performing for you, you should be playing.
The tools that you've got. I mean, it's slim pickings in lots of positions, isn't it?
It is at the moment, definitely. Yeah, Mavididi over Monga.
Yes, I've gone for that because I just think Monga's not a starter at the moment, and it's nothing to do with his ability or anything like that. I just think you can just see his age a bit when he starts. I don't think he's impactful. I think defenders can mark him out of games a bit. And I think in the second half, I would rather have a fresh Monga in the second half of games. And I think Steffi is better opening games as well.
Yeah, no, you're quite right. Sorry, I'm my mind's in the gutter. But as you well know, and we're going to start this on every show that Kate is on. We're going to have a word of the day, and as you can see, going across the bottom, what it is today.
I wonder if it's in the Oxford Dictionary.
Well, I'll have a look while I bring up your forward. Look, we haven't got a lot of choice here at the moment. Daka, it's nearly a year since he scored. Jake Evans, who, if he was an option, isn't now because he's going off to England. And it's funny how you can be picked for England and yet, never ever play for your team, your club, certainly at the adult level. We know, obviously. He scored, is it 6 in 8 for the under-21s?
Yeah, like that, yeah.
I mean, if he's not going, how can you not pick him, if you like?
I just don't even know how he's not making the bench, because it might be a similar situation to Monga where I don't think Monga's quite ready to do the full 90. Monga's obviously the leader of the pack in terms of the youth and their development and how ready they are for the senior football. And Evans can't be far behind that, given that he's just signed a pro contract as well. But it might be that his inclusion on the bench is probably more important, because I would much rather have Evans ahead of Daka. And it's no offence to Daka at all, because I really wish, as we all do, that Daka could just slot one home.
Yeah.
It's a painful one. He seems such a nice guy. It's not without effort. It's just not worked for him here. But, it's time to kind of admit that it was a poor buy. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to change. And I think Jake Evans deserves a start on the bench, really.
Totally agree.
I battle with Carranza, which is why because he's on loan. You just got to keep plodding away. It's not like he's keeping some prolific goal scorer out of the team by including him.
No, well, this is the thing, isn't it? And again, you got to remember. Well, I remember Iheanacho. When we signed him. All right, it was in a Man City team with stars and what have you, but he was getting 5 minutes here and 10 minutes there. You're never going to find your form, are you? Because we don't have reserve teams or anything like that anymore.
No, and then you also have to look at the stats, which these managers seem to be obsessed with. Is that how many chances does he get? How many does he miss? I think he doesn't get enough. The pressure is on him. That's supposed to be me and you. That looks like your hairline.
You bugger. It's not as much as that. What are you on about? And I'll tell you something, that's not my head.
I can't even. It's only lunchtime. I can't cope.
But it is a word. The word ploddy is an adjective that describes something done slowly, heavily, and often with difficulty.
That's our defending in a nutshell, then, isn't it?
It is, basically. Yeah.
But yeah, Carranza, I mean, you have to look at how much service he gets, and the answer is not enough and not a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
So I'd just keep persevering. I think he's a handful. He needs to learn the English game. We've only got him on loan, and there genuinely is no one better that we have.
I mean, Richard, you've put their crap hands there. Who better is there? Yes, I would like to see Jake Evans at least on the bench and maybe come on for 25 minutes or something at the end. I think, I do feel that Monga's only getting it because if he didn't do that with Monga, he'd be chased by pickfocks down Leicester Forest East, but and who else is there, I suppose, is the argument there. But Carranza, I criticised him. I mean, he had 60 minutes the other day and he had one shot. And I use that to start conversations. But then, our midfield doesn't necessarily help in getting the ball to him. And I think you've got to give the guy. I'm not convinced by him. I've got to say, I know obviously, you've got a poster of him on your bedroom ceiling, but I'm not convinced by him. But I can't judge him on what he's played so far, and I can't judge him on 2 games, which is probably about the total of his minutes played.
I've just totted it all up. He's not even had 200 minutes.
No, there you go.
So to call him crap.
Yeah. I mean, you're actually your opinion. Of course you are.
Yeah, but just 200 minutes, very, very fractured.
Yeah. And would you give Daka?
That's what I mean. There's no one better. There's just no one. They're all around the same level.
Yeah.
They're all around the same level. So I'd
rather comment.
Tried and tested and tried and tested and tried and tested. And
if
it's are you or Carranza for me?
Yeah. And I'm sorry to talk over you there, but no, I'm just conscious of the time. So very quickly, I think it was the whole game. It could have been the Millwall, either of them, where Daka actually had the ball and was running forward and fell over himself. And I was listening to the commentary and it was the whole commentary I had on. If you watch Leicester, you get Leicester commentary. But this one, I think there was something wrong, and they were playing the whole commentary. And the whole commentator said, has he just fallen over himself? There was a defender on him, and I don't think the defender touched him. And had he stayed on his feet, he might just have scored. But yeah, that sums it up. Kate, I appreciate you've got to go back to work. Thank you very much. Don't work too hard. I'm going to go now and might even just go back and have a bit of a nap and a snooze,
Well,
I'm of that age. Yes. I'm going to go and have a look at that picture of Ploddy again. And wish.
I'm glad I brought a new word to Leicester till I die.
Yeah, you have indeed. We'll have to do next. Well, there's no show next Tuesday because I'm away. So I'm also missing.
It's the Leicester match next Tuesday. We've got Middlesbrough.
Yes, yeah. Well, I won't be here. I'll be watching it in the nice warmth of Lanzarote. And are you going to Blackburn tomorrow?
Yes, I'll be there.
Yeah. Brilliant. We'll speak then, and hopefully if you can do the video for me. Have a good one. Don't work too hard. Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Yep, Kate's got to go. Thank you to Kate. She does pop in on a lunchtime, bless her. So let me just see what I can do here. I think this is going to be it. Yeah, because what I want to pick up, this is the stats for tomorrow's game. Daka is better. I'll have a pint of what you're having, Richard, please. Look, it's opinions. That's what football is all about, and you're certainly entitled. And at times, I wish the other game I was saying, please bring Daka on, because we need some pace. Because one thing Daka can do is close down the keeper and close down the defenders. And then I was doing the watch along, saying, please put Daka on. We need some pace up there. And somebody in the chat went, he's been on for 10 minutes. I mean, I hadn't seen him come on and I hadn't noticed him. We're odds on to win tomorrow. 55% win probability. The home advantage, and this is interesting because you think somewhere like Millwall, when they're at home, that would really help their give them an advantage. They always say, don't they, the home advantage. Surprising how many teams don't have home advantage. But we've got an 18% plus in the home advantage column. 15 goals scored, 12 conceded. They've only got 10, 17 conceded. We've only had 3 clean sheets. We're still sat in 10th. Can we win it tomorrow? I'm just looking down here. I have gone for a 3-1 win to Leicester. Maybe if Daka comes on, he'll get a hat-trick. That's never going to happen, is it? Josh went 2-0. Couple of people, Tom, Spencer and Michael all went for a Blackburn win. Tom Hogger went for a draw, which, let's be honest with you, we are the draw specialist. Everybody else has gone for most of them 2-1 or 2-0. Fingers crossed, though. We'll be back at 6 o'clock with a special news show. You'll want to see that. Are we talking about Hamza? Are we going to be losing him in January? There is rumours Sheffield United are backing for him. Thanks to everybody that's been watching. Please do like the video. It does help the channel and it's free. Subscribe if you're new. And share to anybody that you know is a Leicester fan and doesn't see these. And if you're listening via your favourite podcast platform, whatever that is, thank you for lending me your ears. I'll see you at 6. Have a good Friday afternoon, everybody. Take care. And like I say, hopefully join me at 6 o'clock for the first of 2 shows this evening. Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.